Well, uh, what does this mean? Okay, so what it is, guys? It's your old boy Pug. Um, we have known for a very long time that this game was not going to last nearly as long as Dan Mimo. Dan Mimo, as it is for a gotcha, 7 years is a really long lifespan for a gotcha. I probably not as much in the modern era, but at launch, there was no one predicting that game was going to last that long. Let's kind of explain why it did, though. For those people that didn't play that particular game and maybe joined us for this game a little bit later, here's the real reason that game lasted so long. Number one, out of the gate, really great support. Had an awesome support structure. They listened to the fans, did all kinds of stuff like that. Number two, huge backing from the creator. Omori came in every year, made a lot of custom stories for us. All of them are right here on the channel. I think with maybe one or two rare exceptions of the Japanese only stuff that we never got our hands on. And even then I'm going to try to at some point maybe see if we can scare those up, but that's going to be rough. But number three was the free-to-play environment. That game was phenomenal. Now, there were people that were, it's pay to win, blah, blah, blah. Guys, they always have to put something in there to encourage the whales to whale. So, yes, the whales were always on top in Record Buster. The whales were always on top in War Game. The whales were always on top in PvP and PvE of, ranked events. But if you followed along with my content, you knew how to get the most out of that game without spending a huge amount of money. Sometimes none at all. I did spend a fair amount of money in that game, but this game I have not. There's reasons why not. Number one, and as I've said before, in that game, if you went into a banner, number one, you'd get enough currency every week at minimum, just slacking to do at least one multi. Number two, every other summon in a multi. Was that every third or so summon in a multi? Something like that. It was pretty common. Would be a guaranteed new unit. Now, yes, you would have to max unit for it to be useful. And when this game first launched, I said, hey, the really nice part about this is an A0 unit is functional and useful, which in Dan Mima, that was not a thing. But that around year one really kind of ended. You do need Anniversary Bell has to be maxed out, and units like that have to be maxed out. And at an average cost of about $200, unless you get insanely, unrealistically lucky, per limit break $200, mind you, you're talking $1,200 to max out a unit just to make it functional is way too much money. Way too much. Unrealistically. So, right out of the gate, big problems with this game. Big problems. And I've never shied away from saying that. Now, there are parts of this game that I do enjoy. We've done everything we can to kind of encourage the free-to-play market. We've encouraged all kind of stuff. But, at the end of the day, it is a pay-to-win game. This one is. And Dan Mimo very much was, you could get by. You're not going to beat the whales, and you're never going to beat the whales, because every game has to dangle a carrot. But this game was just the end goal of monetization. Now, let's clear the air here. And I'm sure a lot of you are already typing away and having your comments. This does not necessarily mean it's the end of the story. This is not necessarily it. Let's read what it says. To our valued Don Crow players, we will be making an important announcement regarding the future of service on Monday, June 23rd. Now remember, the PlayStation Store is closing around this time. So this could just be another thing regarding that. This could just be about that. But a lot of us have seen the writing on the wall for a very long time. I've been really lax about completing the archive on this. I will now have to obviously ramp that up. We'll have to get this done. It usually by the time this happens, you have you know a few months to maybe up to a year. With Dan Mimo, it was about a year that we had to complete the archive. Um, I'm willing to bet that we'll probably see a sunset. If this is a true sunset, we'll probably see a sunset before year end. Um, yeah, it's not great, guys. This is not a good look. Uh, but let's maintain our positivity. Let's maintain, what we enjoyed about the game and hope for the best. But in reality, a lot of people are a lot of people here have already spoken about how much they feel like the game is done, the game is over with, and I think the current round of reruns uh, probably have spoken a lot to that. Now, it says here, let's break this down here. We were making an important announcement regarding the future of service. The future of service. Now, this isn't going to be about the anniversary, though. There's something to be said about that. This isn't about. I mean, it could be about the PlayStation version, but I would think that they would have clarified that. I would think at some point they would have been a little less cryptic about it. If you read the comments, a lot of people are pretty much saying the same thing. It looks very gloom and doom about this. And I know a couple people that have recently just picked this up, but that's how gachas go, guys. It's about what we predicted here at the beginning of the game. I mean, seeing the game from the onset, I'm sure the production costs are way higher than a lot of other games. Now, in the past, when Dan Mimo was like hot, when the anime was on and things were going, we knew that there was production on at least two other gachas, one of which never wound up happening. I think another which actually turned out to be the Switch game, and then this game. We'll still be covering Dodfall. We'll be finishing that up soon. We'll obviously be completing the archive on this. But after this, I don't know if there's going to be another Danmachi gacha for a good minute. It will inevitably happen next time the anime is on because, I think the next season of the anime is really going to bring people back to it. But, you're talking at least another year, 2 years maybe. I'm going to tell you guys, it looks like we are about to lose a gacha, and we will probably have a gap without any more new Danmachi games. Now, what would I like to see on the backside of this? Well, the honest answer is, honestly, I'd like to see a really, really rock-solid PC game. I enjoy Dawnfall. I really, really do like it. But being what it is, it's not a game that's going to have mass market appeal. Now, props to Bushiroad. They did their homework on that game. The combination of like that Souls-like feel, but in a very inexpensive to produce Metroidvania was awesome. The fact that all versions of the game were on the Japanese cartridge, so those of us that are physical media collectors could get it. That was absolutely awesome. And the 2D art style really, really, really harkened back to a game that a lot of us had been missing and a lot of us loved. It wasn't going to have mass market appeal, but it was the perfect game at just the right time. We've not completed it. We've been playing it kind of on and off on Sundays. And obviously we'll be doing more of that soon, but I will probably go back and like replay the whole thing, see if we can I don't know, speed run it, but do a little bit more in it and cover some more of the bosses and do some more lore level stuff with it. But yeah, this is a bit disappointing. but not surprising. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I would very much love to see, and I've said it before, I would love to see a full 3D. I always say Souls-like, but I really like Souls-like games. I think it would lend itself very well to this. But I really want a dungeon crawler. I want one that you go into the dungeon, you are an adventurer, you're not necessarily Bell or one of the main crew. I want to, like one where you create your own adventure. You have your own story. You form bonds with a deity. You join a familia. Like there is such an open concept here that nobody's tapped into. And as a gamer, as a long time gamer, I mean, long time. I have an Atari 2600 upstairs and a DS Lite sitting on my desk at all times. Hell, I got a PS4 and a PS3 over there. Like long time gamer. I would love to see this franchise become the game that it truly, truly deserves to be. Um, yeah, and we've talked about this a lot on stream. Like what's going to happen post Don Crow, and I'm going to save that conversation for a little bit later. That's probably its own separate thing. We got to see what happens on Monday, but yeah, this doesn't look great for the future of the game. So let me ask you guys this: those of you that made it to this far in the video, what was your favorite story from Don Crow? Not Dan Mimo, Don Crow. What are the first stories that we should archive and keep up here permanently? Because I've got a few pre-recorded. I just got to start pelting them out, and that's kind of that is kind of what it is. But comment down below. Let me know which stories we should start off with. But it looks like this is about to be a mad dash to the archive that I've been threatening to do for a year and a half now. Just seeing the writing on the wall. So, like, share, comment. Go ham. Catch you guys on the next one.